Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is D-Free, and welcome back to the Dragon Ball Super review, in which today we will be reviewing the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. But basically what happened is Hit and Vegeta both stepped into the ring together. The fight of the century is about to commence, and what happens here is just, what commences from here is just utter manslaughter. I'm gonna start off by saying that, okay? So these guys step into the ring together, and Hit immediately is like, no, just surrender, no. You're gonna lose, just surrender. And Vegeta's like, ha, I'm not gonna lose. Obviously, Vegeta wouldn't surrender. So from there, Vegeta powers up. He transforms into Super Saiyan Bluda. I don't even know if that's the right word, but whatever. Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, whatever you wanna call it, same thing. But from there, he powers up, and he then proceeds to rush Hit. And during rushing Hit, he gets hit back, and he's like, whoa, hold on. This guy responded that fast, and I barely took a step, and, he gets hit back, So Vegeta's like, hold on, what's going on? So he's like, okay, this guy's really fast, okay. So I'm gonna try again, and he gets knocked in the face. Oh, I'm gonna try again, he gets knocked in the temple. Hit is just hitting him all the vital spots, and Vegeta can't even defend himself. He's getting beaten in front of his family, in front of his friends, everybody. He's just getting his ass kicked, and it's like, whoa. It was really one-sided. It was actually way more one-sided than I would expect. But while this is going on, we've got Goku just watching the fight and observing Hit. Obviously, that's gonna play a big role into his fight with Hit, because Vegeta will wind up losing, of course. But anyways, he's observing Hit. He goes over to Jocko via instant transmission. He says, hey, do you see what's going on? Jocko's like, nope, I don't see it. And we know Jocko is a guy that has better than normal vision, okay? So to say that Jocko doesn't see it means that this guy is moving really fast, or something very similar. And this is where we get into something very similar. The Galactic Patrol King, or whatever, the Galaxy King, the guy next to the Jocko, the guy that Jocko brought with him, basically, his +1, he's like, oh, he must be using an ability called Time Leap. And that's when we explained that Time Leap is a Tokido Bashi, I believe is what they called it. But it's an ability where Hit is able to stop/manipulate time for 0.1 seconds. Now, what makes that ability deadly is that if Vegeta strikes him, he's stopping time for a tenth of a second, and he's floating around Vegeta and countering that hit and hitting Vegeta. That's what's happening to Vegeta, and Vegeta doesn't realize it because nobody told him, nobody clued him in. But Goku, on the other hand, got the clue in, he got the heads up. So what happens from here is we cut back to Whis, and he's like, oh, I'm surprised somebody else besides me can manipulate time. And he was like, huh, that's very interesting, but I know how to beat it. And Beerus is like, why don't you tell them how to beat it? And he's like, nah, this is good training for Goku to figure it out. And Beerus is like, this is not the time to try to train them. So I thought that was pretty funny too. Whis is still trying to give them some training, which is interesting because, they never really had anything going for them. They weren't gonna take Beerus's wish. I don't think they were going to anyway. If they would win or whatever the case is, they had nothing. They were just in it for the thrill of the battle, basically. Like Champa's guys were getting prizes and shit, luxurious money and just all this other stuff, and they're not getting anything. They're living in poverty. So yeah, there's that. But from there, this is where we get into exposing Monaka for the fraud that he is. And I'm kind of bummed by this. I feel like this is a bit of a missed opportunity. I feel like he could have been an awesome character. Now they're gonna put these Dragon Ball Super characters in these games, and they're just totally just gonna avoid Monaka, or they'll make him somebody like Jocko, who's totally not strong enough, but somehow is strong enough in the games. But basically, Whis was like, oh, well, do we want to tell them that you brought this guy here who's a total amateur just for motivation? Which is kind of funny too, because why would he bring some weak guy as motivation? Maybe Beerus wasn't lying. Maybe it was something that, Monaka did best him in something, maybe like a sport or a game or something like chess, for example. Maybe he did best him in something, but not actually physical fighting, So there's that, because Monaka this whole time, as soon as Vegeta transformed, he shivered. He literally and figuratively shaked in his boots. He just was, ooh. So, there's that. And Monaka was like, oh no, I ain't having it. They even said Monaka passed out at the sight of a Kamehameha. He's done. He can't do it. He can't even anymore. So, from there, Goku steps into the ring because Vegeta gets taken out. Goku steps into the ring and he's like, oh, Vegeta, do you have any advice for me? Vegeta's like, nah, just do your best. I was like, okay, that's interesting for Vegeta to say something like that. Okay. And Goku immediately begins to fight Hit, and Hit's like, oh, you're not going to transform? Did you forget to transform? And Goku was like, no, I'm not going to transform. I want to preserve my stamina as long as possible. I'm paraphrasing, but he said the form takes a lot of stamina. Of course, we already know this. That's why they spend a lot of time training in their base forms, because obviously it helps them preserve stamina, and the stronger your base gets, the stronger your transformation gets. It's really simple, if you ever wondered why they train in their base forms a lot. But basically from there, Goku is like, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to beat you, then I'll transform. So he starts flying around the ring, striking hit, but he's getting knocked back. And then at this point, he's like, oh, I figured it out now. And Hit's like, oh, you're really naive for telling me how your strategy, and kind of just backtracking a little bit before the fight started. This is a little funny. Hit was like, oh, you must be really naive for telling me what you're going to plan to do. Because Goku told him, I'm going to just stay in my base form until I figure out how to beat you. And he's like, you must be really young or naive. And Goku's like, oh, I'm older than you look, which is very true. Well, he said, I'm older than you think I am, which is very, very true. Because Goku's probably low 40s now. It's really hard to judge how old they are because Goku's been dead for years, and then they spent years in the hyperbolic time chamber, so like he's like probably early 40s spiritually, but like his body's like probably like 30 something years old. But anyways, he's like, I'm older than I look. And he's like, Hit's like, oh, I'm 1,000. I'm like, oh shit, this guy's hella old. You kid. He's like, oh, G-san, you know what I'm saying? Old guy. And Goku even shows respect. He bows down to him, and that was pretty funny. But no, so Goku's flying around the ring, he's getting knocked back, he figures out how to beat Hit, and he's like, well, I just have to predict what you're going to predict that I'm going to do. And then that's how it works. And Goku is from here blocking Hit's hits, no pun intended. And the funny thing is that he's in his base form. Vegeta's just, it cuts back to Vegeta, he's pissed. He's freaking gnawing his teeth, he's pissed. Because he was in his Super Saiyan Blue form getting fucked, and Vegeta is basically in his base, or Goku's in his base form just completely holding his own, which is just another shitting on Vegeta. I'm going to talk about his character progression in a video later this month because it's interesting to talk about. But from there, basically Goku figures it out, and to explain to you guys what Goku figured out, he figured out that, once again, Hit is stopping time at the moment Goku strikes. So what Hit is doing is he's figuring out what Goku's doing in that 0.1 seconds, which isn't very much time. And the problem with this is he's figuring out what Goku's doing and he's countering what Goku's doing. So what Goku did was he is basically thinking to himself, okay, I'm jabbing left, so Hit's gonna counter right. And this is totally not right, I'm just saying. So Hit's gonna counter right, so I'm gonna block right because Hit's gonna think I'm gonna, you know, he's predicting what Hit's going to do based on what Hit is predicting he's gonna do. So the only way Hit can really stop that, and he doesn't have enough time to do this, is counter Goku's counter for Hit's counter on Goku's attack. So you counter the counter. It's really just totally just out there. It's totally outlandish, but you know, it's really obnoxious in a sense. But that's basically why Goku's gonna basically just have the upper hand here, because we don't know how strong Hit is without his ability. I know a lot of times when guys have abilities like that, they basically are really reliant on them. Another thing I wanted to kind of touch on here is something me and Mark / Real to Real talked about. If you guys don't know who Real to Real is, go check him out. You can find him on my channel. If you hit my channel, my main page, you see my guys, my squad on the right hand side. Real to Real's there. Check him out. Pretty cool YouTuber. But basically we're talking about when Whis was like, okay, I didn't know there was anybody else besides me that could manipulate time. You know, we both kind of were thinking on the same wavelength, like, well, does that mean that Vados can't do the temporal do-over? It's very, very interesting to note that if she can't do that, you know, I feel like, you know, there was a debate whether Vados or Whis was stronger, but the thing is that Whis, we don't know if he has any limitations on that, if he can use it continually like Hit uses his 0.1 second Tokidobashi or whatever it's called, repeatedly. Maybe, basically, for example, maybe they start fighting Whis and Vados, and, you know, Whis is like, oh, I'm losing. Rewind time 3 minutes. Now he knows everything Vados is going to do, and now he doesn't lose. You know, that's a very interesting concept if she can't do it, and Whis is the only being that he's aware of, which would include his sister, that can manipulate time. And now there's Hit because he's from a different universe, of course, so that would make sense. But I don't know, I wonder if there's a universe 6 Hit, or if we'll ever get insight into as to who Hit is, if he's a counterpart for one of our universe 7 characters. I don't think he's Cell or anything like that, but I don't know. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what your favorite part of the episode was. My favorite part was the moment where Goku knocked Hit in the chest or the stomach. He kicked him back. And Champa, they cut to Champa. He's always been trolling this whole time, right? He's trolled this whole entire time. And they cut to him, he's leaning over the edge, he's like, Hit, Doga, Hit! And he's just like, totally just like, oh God, what is going on? This is so unexpected. That was my favorite part. It was like in the last 20 seconds. My second favorite part, I wanted to bring this up too, is I know a lot of people have criticism over Masako Nozawa, but she's really an amazing voice actor. When you look at her and you realize that she voices Goku and Vegeta and Goten, she's really good in how she does it and the way she kind of articulates her words and whatnot. And what I'm talking about basically is my favorite voice acting from her, hands down, in this series so far, Dragon Ball Super, was the end of this episode, where the last 10 seconds of the episode before the ending credits, Goku was like, okay, I'm gonna fight full power, and she's just like totally set. Like, if you guys go back and watch that, I implore you to go do so. She just like totally killed that last line. It just like, oh God, my heart started racing. Like, it was perfect. But I don't know. That's it for me, guys. I'm kind of rambling here. Let me know your favorite part of the episode. Be sure to leave any questions, comments, and feedback, anything like that down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to get back to you when I can. But that's it for me, guys. I'll see you guys in the next Dragon Ball Super review next week. Peace out, guys.